So what I was thinking of doing here was to just do a quick run through of some of these battles to talk about what I'm thinking as they're going on, see if that helps make any of the information slightly more comprehensible. So this is the first game against the Ancient Brits, and Ancient Brits, everybody who wants to take it often takes Cassia Velanus, which means lots of chariots. So clearly I tried to clutter the table up as much as I could with that's my marsh, that's my field, that's my hill on a plantation, one small field from the Brits as well, and it's worked out pretty well. You know, the marsh here and the field here are both impossible for chariots to go into. What I've done, first time I've really put this army on table, or maybe the second time. So my medium foot terrain command is going to run into the field, make them invincible to the chariots. The chariots can't come into a field and do that. Wheeled vehicles can't do it. I've got my solid line of heavy infantry and the elephant over here in the other gap. There's a couple of cavalry who go with this command. They're all part of one command that's going to sit in the gap in the middle. And then I've got some cavalry here. The little small command of just 4 cavalry is going to try and push down here because I'm hoping, and it's turned out I'm right, I'm hoping that there's just going to be a few light horse on either wing and that these guys might be able to sort of bully their way through it. If not, they can all run into the middle and support. So we'll see how that goes. And let's have a look, see what happens here. So over on the left-hand side, I've sprung a little ambush. I think that's probably there. You can see the ambush marker. So a couple of Lightfoot are in that marsh. They've come forward. I'm just trying to delay all of these English warband, British warband for as long as possible. Even though, you know, chances are my guys, particularly with the elephant, may well be better. But I just want to try and keep them out and see what happens with the chariots. So over on the other side, I've got a lot of my medium foot, including the javelin men, into this field. That's going to create a nice solid line. So 3 units of medium foot in the field, so they're safe. The elephant makes this one safe. I've got decent quality cavalry here. This gap is sort of closed up. It's not very big at all. And here I've shoved my actual proper cavalry and light horse against these 3. So we'll see what happens there, but that's sort of the plan. So the Brits have come in. They're starting to hurl some javelins. There's a couple of hits coming, particularly on my skirmish screen there, my light infantry. One on these legionaries, but they're not too fussed. These guys can just bounce off legionaries all day if you want. I've done a couple of little hits. There is enough sort of skirmish shooting against these unarmored chariots to maybe do something, which may well be good. And let's see what happens on the next one. So I've pushed forward, squirted out some of these cavalry that have unwisely got in front of their infantry. Can't quite see them in that picture, but they've got in front of the infantry. They're sort of squirted into the middle of the table. Nobody wants to fight the elephant. Nobody wants to fight the heavy infantry. So all these chariots are starting to fall back and evade back out. I've raced forward with some of the cavalry as well, try and see if I could catch anyone when, you know, the chariots are going to have to evade from these guys, really. So if these charge at the same time, they might catch someone as well. And here we're just doing a sort of shooting match as my cavalry push through. And here it is on that flank. These light horse are just not keen to face this. They're outmatched. They've fallen back. The chariots are still milling around on the edge of the field, but my javelin men have a zone of control. They occupy the attention of these chariots, which is allowing my cavalry to push past and obviously get into a flank attack sort of situation there. And flipping back over to the other side, these warband have sort of come forwards, and I've actually probably pushed up a bit too much here with the heavy infantry just to kind of join in the cavalry and really start to chew up at these guys here. But the heavy infantry are pretty safe. The chariots are not going to do much against them. So the elephants decided to try and go in. Shouldn't really be fighting Lightfoot. That's the worst thing for it to fight. But with an overlap, they may be able to punch their way through and get in. I'm just really trying to delay these. But even if this lot does get into combat coherently, really, there's only 3 units here that they're going to get. These guys will run out of the way. They'll run out of the way. They'll zip over here. So, you know, hopefully the game will be decided before the worst possible outcome happens there. Flipping back sort of towards the middle, I've engaged these light horse, done the classic maneuver. They've got too close. I've zipped one of my light horse around the back. They can't evade. I've hit them with my proper cavalry, even though it doesn't look to be going that well. These two javelin men are still occupying all the attention of these 3 chariots. Very difficult for them to do anything other than fall back. These chariots have come back. They're still sort of skirmishing, but still elephant and infantry, very hard for chariots to attack elephant plus infantry. My decent cavalry are here, hoping to knock a big hole in this bit and isolate these sort of 6-7 chariots. And I'm looking at this thinking, once these guys break through, I'll hopefully be able to, quickly run over these light horse with my medium cavalry, and then start rolling up this line with them being pinned and just drive them back. And here's where I'm thinking I'll do all the casualties. So over here you can see, yep, my cavalry. These are the elite cavalry. Those ones there, they've killed somebody off. They're being followed up forward. Same with the heavy infantry and support. So if I'm in that outflanking situation on these mobile guys, they've hung around too long. They're starting to be at risk of getting outflanked. Very few people around to support them. And again, over here, light horse are struggling. One's dead, one's injured. I've then got 4 free units here ready to come off the flank, and they just can't really do a lot. They're just in an exchange of fire with these javelinmen there. So flipping back to the other side, the elephant's gone in. It's lost. That's not great. But at least it's stopped all these guys from coming forwards and coming through their skirmish screen. So I've delayed them getting into the potentially vulnerable legionaries for a while. And bosh, the elephant explodes. Not great. So suddenly these guys look very, very exposed. But really, what I'm just trying to do is make sure that this block of 6 is only at best going to kill 3 there. But there's a gap here. Driving off them with my cavalry and the legionaries. So I've just turned around some of the legionaries here. This unit that you saw before is getting ready to come into the flank. I'm daring these to come back. If they come back, I can push through with my own guys. We'll see what happens there. Over on the other side, still all going well. There's all these different combinations: cavalry, overlaps, elephant going in. That's chewed up some more of these chariots. So I'm just starting to whittle these away, and they're really, really struggling to do much, because there's not a lot here that they really, really want to fight particularly. Anything next to an elephant is safe. My cavalry is probably better and more numerous than them. And again, from that right-hand flank, some of my light horse are zipping off to try and head towards the baggage. Here you can absolutely see that with green arrows. Destroy these light horse, chase the rest away. Suddenly they're slamming into the side of these chariots, and that's really a death knell for these guys. And I'm starting to tot up the break points that are available here on this side of the table. My javelin have taken some hits there, but these chariots are not going to be there very long, I don't think. Over on the other side, as we've expected, this big block comes in. It does a lot of damage against these legionaries. They are going to get swept away, but the key thing is what's happening over here, what's happening over in this. I do sort of expect to lose them, and this big unwieldy block of warband is really going to struggle to do much else other than kill the elephant and these 2 units of legionaries. So back to the other side, chariots again fragmented, some of them running away, trying to get in the way of my baggage run. But I'm just pushing forward with, look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 units here. There's really only 4 chariots left. I should be able to swarm them and swamp them and outnumber them. My heavy infantry pushing up, keeping those guys honest as well. And again, pretty much destroyed everything over here. There's only these 2 left, really, as this flank attack pushes through, keeps on pushing into the middle, leaves these guys suddenly safe. I've got troops to spare. Let's just make sure these guys don't come in to join it. Send them driving off towards the baggage as well, against anybody they can find. Just throw them in as a bowling ball. And we're just totting up the casualties here. Over on this side, this is pretty much done, but I have still smashed into the side of them with the legionaries. They're very unmaneuverable, these guys. And there's a hit there. There's a couple of hits there. So I've lost 3 units, essentially. That was nearly gone. They'll get out of the way. But they've potentially lost a couple here. So that's not a bad trade-off anyway. Over into sort of the middle again. All the cavalry that were here are now pushing in, trying to catch these guys. The elephants behind them. It's just really closing the vice here. And then this sort of separate group has split off and is chasing up these couple of chariots as well, trying to surround them, just sheer weight of numbers, doing a bit of shooting with javelins. Again, potentially that leaves and that path clear to baggage would have been it, but unfortunately the Brits finish. This has actually broken the ancient British army.